Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Brenda's Musings. So today I want to talk about looking at the world through a macro lens. And what do I mean by that exactly? Well, I mean looking at the world sort of close up. So if you think about photography, for example, and you think of bumblebees, well, when you see a bumblebee close up, you see its little tiny legs, you see the hair on its body, you might see the pollen that it's collected. And you see all of this, and you get a better appreciation for bumblebees and what it is that they do. And so the world can be the same sort of thing. When we look at it close up, when we look at things that have happened in the world through history, things that are happening in the world right now through current events, when we look at, just the world around us, you end up having a different appreciation for it. Now, sometimes, like for me personally, there are things that I choose to remain ignorant about because of the way that it makes me feel. And I struggle with that a little bit because I don't think it's necessarily the healthiest thing for me. And yet at the same time, it is definitely something that makes me feel better because I don't want to be feeling horrible. So for example, to this day, I have not watched the movie Schindler's List. And, it's been out for, I don't know how many years now, 20 years, who knows, a long time anyway. and I know that it's a beautiful movie with beautiful moments because people have told me that. But it's also mankind at some of its worst moments. It's also such a horrible part of our history that happened. And I don't want to feel that. Like just thinking of Schindler's List, like just thinking of what those people must have gone through brings a knot to my stomach, let alone almost living through it, in terms of what the characters are going through. And even that is, I'm sure, so far removed from what the actual real horror was that, I just can't go there. And anything that's along that sort of a line where people are, or animals or whatever, are being tortured or degraded, or, I don't even like movies where they're yelling at people. So, anyway, that's my thing. But the one thing about shining light on really uncomfortable situations is that it brings them into the light. It brings them out of the darkness. It brings them to people's awareness. And there are people in this world who that is their purpose in this world, is to shine light on all of these horrific things that happen, to bring them to light so that others may heal, to bring them to light so that they don't keep happening. And that is a beautiful, beautiful legacy. It's just not mine. But by exposing things, then we look at them differently. And it doesn't have to be that heavy of a dramatic reason. It could be looking at something in your hand and seeing it with fresh eyes, seeing that, okay, whatever it is, I can't think of an example, sorry, off the top of my head, but whatever it is, it's in your hand, it's finding a different use for it. It's finding a different way to use it. It's finding a way to add this to that to make something totally, totally new. And that kind of, looking at something with a macro lens is how inventions are started, right? So I encourage all of us to look at the world through a macro lens sometimes, and to see the finest parts of it, and to examine it, and to have a look at it, and see what we can take from it, and how it changes our view of our current world. And that's my musing for the day. Have a great one, everyone.